computer. There we go. There we go.
Oh,
Thank
I
you,
can
Ken.
lead the meeting.
Yeah.
So definitely a well worth the first place on this image.
Yeah, I just think it's terrific.
I agree.
Porch of friendship.
Okay. I think the lighting on this is terrific. I think it's great with that red against that just black background. The other night when I saw this, it seemed very pixelated. It doesn't seem so much so tonight. I'm not sure why. My only complaint about this image is that we've seen this image a lot. But I think it's sharp as a tack. I love the lighting on it. It's just a fun shape too. It's really great. Who's the maker?
Steve Manchester with a score of 19.
That torch is so photogenic.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful angle he took it at.
yeah. She's
Yeah,
really,
and it's handled really well with the black background.
yeah, I just think it looks great.
All grown up.
Robert, you want to do that?
Absolutely. Okay. I like the photo. I've shot weddings. The composition, I would have probably gotten her away from the door, more centralized to that arc behind her and gotten rid of the, I would assume that's a family member keeping an eye on her and helping her out. It is, I mean, it is a beautiful shot of a beautiful young lady. Love the pose. Like I said, I would have just liked, always look at the backgrounds, you know, that pillar coming out of her head. That's the only reason I would say I probably would have moved over more towards under the arch or more centered to the arch. But man, white is so hard to capture at times, and I could see detail in the gown. It's handled well. Who is the maker?
Tammy Cothy Ramsey with a score of 20.
All right, who's that woman in the background?
That is her mother.
Very
She
good.
purposely put her back there
Oh,
with the idea of the shot of the mother looking at her daughter all grown up.
I see.
all right, I can see that.
I mean, I've got shots from the same session. Matter of fact, we shot her wedding.
Oh, nice.
And that was the point. It was at Landa Library. And
Yeah.
if you put her too far over towards the side of her mother, you started getting blowout on the gown.
Yeah, I can see that one. That was my first thought when I saw this the other night was exactly that. I was with Robert. I wanted to see her more to the left, but I immediately saw the blowout on the left. I'm going, okay, maybe that's why. Because you can see on the left, it's super bright where the sun's coming in those arches. And that's
Yeah,
probably.
I have one that I shot of her that I like, but it's got so much blowout on the tile that I don't even bother.
Yeah.
I gave up.
Gotcha.
I think
Right.
what would have made it a little bit easier to get that story was if the mom was wearing her mother of the bride dress.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
then you would get the connection. With her jeans on, it kind of looks like she's a standby, you know,
Right.
somebody just standing by.
That's
But
what I
Exactly.
other
thought
than
she
that,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that I would
Yeah,
see.
that's what I thought she was.
Well, that couldn't have happened because I don't know if mom had it and that was
Sure.
put together at a bridal session.
Yeah.
Sure, that's what, yeah.
I mean, you ever see the light bulb come on, you know what happened.
Yeah, sure.
Mhm,
Oh, this would be a cool shot.
Yep. Nice.
But
All
mom
right.
has that wonderful wistful look about her. Just, yeah, it's a great expression.
Sure.
All right. Old Railroad.
Trish, I guess you have to take this.
Okay. I love the detail on this bridge. I love the leading line on this bridge. I think the moody clouds are great, even though there's a kind of a little bit of blowout that you're fighting there. but I still think it's handled really well. It's sharp as a tack, I think, everywhere it needs to be. I personally found this image a little distracting on the left-hand side. I probably would have cropped this vertically and just focused on that bridge instead of the one off to the left, because it keeps drawing my eye over there. And I think that the real deal in this image is that funky, rusty green piece of metal. Other than that, I think it's terrific. Whose image is this?
Peter
Fine.
Florzak, after several rescorings, ended up in second place with a score of 23.
Yeah.
Where is that, Peter?
It's in Maine, in
Nice.
Brunswick. And the reason that I did not stand exactly in the middle and get a perfect image, frankly, it's because I was scared standing on the tracks.
I can
Even though there
totally
wasn't any
understand.
train coming, I knew there was going to be a train and I was going to get distracted. And so it was like a grab shot, shoot it and then get off the tracks.
Well, and there's signs on both sides of it saying, "Hey, dummy, keep off the railroad deck."
Yes,
So
yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
This is an active railroad track. Totally
And that's
get
why I
it.
included the image, because it was kind of
Yeah.
leaning toward the left-hand side anyway. So anyway.
Yeah, what a great bridge though. I love all that funky texture and
Oh.
rust, and I think it's
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah.
I dig the vegetation on top of the structure growing.
Right, right. That's the herb garden up there, Robert.
There you go.
It's a lovely green
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, this is really fun.
Yeah.
And that color, I mean, how do you beat that color?
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty great. Nice job, Peter.
Thank you. All right, I'll do the next one.
And fall comes to Denali.
I mean, who doesn't love a panorama? This image just deserves a panorama. I can just imagine just standing there, just scanning it with your eyes, just as your head just turns from one place to the other place. It's cropped perfectly. It's got just enough interesting sky. There's just enough mountains. There's just enough foreground. It's sharp where it should be sharp. It kind of, the clouds in the background over the mountains just give a really nice texture to the thing. I've got nothing negative to say about it. I think the image is just perfect. Who's the maker?
Trish Stone, again, after several rescores, a final score of 22 for third place.
Oh, sorry about that, Trish.
It's okay. I fought that blowout in the right corner, something terrible. I just, I had a horrible time trying to do something with that.
It doesn't bother me in the least.
I'm glad, yeah, because I played with it and just finally left it alone. Yeah,
Very nice, Trish.
thank you.
Yeah, if you tried to get rid of it too much, you would have not been oriented with the light coming from
Right.
that direction.
Yeah. Well, and I couldn't crop it out because then it whacked off the mountains on the left-hand side. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
No,
Blippy,
you-
blippy.
yeah, and if you tried to take it out too much,
yeah.
you would lose how you got your lighting.
Mhm.
All right, monochrome. Let me go over to the score sheet. There we go. Come back here. And Gaucho.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. First impressions on me. I would have moved them just slightly over to my right, or excuse me, my left a little, just to center him. But you know what? He's kind of looking off to the left. So I like the fact that he's got a dark background, but a quarter of the side it's lightened because it's part of the building. So it really sets him off. The detail is amazing. The face, the skin. I see wrinkles. I see the discoloration, the whiskers, you name it. The hat, I'm a hat guy, so I like the texture, the grit on it. It's cute. As far as portraits, monochrome, hey, this works for me. I like it. Eyes have a little gleam to them. Excellent. Who is the maker?
Maker's Marie Plummer with a score of 21 for first place.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was one of my
Great.
favorite images of the night. Yeah, for all the reasons Robert mentioned.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
want that hat. It's got character.
Yeah, really nicely done.
What inspired the shot, Marie?
I was down in Cuba and we were staying at this, what do they call these, like farms or whatever?
Uh-huh.
And
Because
he just came out of the barn and I snapped the picture.
Cool.
Yeah.
it's a great
very
grab.
terrific.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Coming for you.
Peter,
Well, okay, this
Yeah.
week, this one just kind of fills the whole frame, and those haunting eyes right exactly in the middle almost of the picture just really, really captivate you. Probably the thing that hurts us the most is that there's no detail in the bird's body, and and in the background being blown off and being soft, I don't mind that at all. And the bird is so dark that it dominates the frame where it should be dominating. And like I say, the eyes and the beak and everything right in the middle, it's almost like a Halloween kind of picture. I just wish that it had some more, just a little bit of detail in the black part of the feathers. Who's the maker?
Trish Stone with a score of 18.
It was a great capture.
Is that just a raven?
it's a grackle,
A
actually.
grackle?
It's
It
just-
looks so
and
much
just-
bigger than it really is.
Oh, they're really crazy to me how big they are. Ravens are actually bigger than grackles, I think. But
It looks wicked.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
and I actually, in color, I honestly think I see more detail. I'll have to go back and look, but
Yeah, not on my screen.
yeah. But I'm with you. He's missing a lot of detail.
Lift off.
I think Trish, you're up.
Trish.
Okay. There's a couple things I really enjoy about this image. Number one, the pattern of the water in the background to me is art all by itself. It's beautiful. It's really effective. It's interesting without being too distracting. That bird stands right out. I love the detail. It's a little bit soft, I think, in part of the wing, but I think it's actually pretty terrific. I like that there's not too much space, but there's enough for that bird to be moving. I just think it's really well handled. Lots of different tones and shades, which is great for a monochrome image. It doesn't look flat. And the detail hasn't been lost in the white, which can often happen, as we were talking about earlier. I think it's nicely handled. Who's the maker?
Robert Moreno with a score of 18.
Yeah. I love that you're doing this, Robert.
Thanks. This was a earlier photo when I started trying this out. I can tell you that my shutter speed probably wasn't fast enough, and my focus was where the branch is at, where he was standing. You can see the branch in the water is kind of sharp there. You know?
Yeah.
So
Well,
he
that's the
done
thing, they
moved on.
move so fast too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And I should get a partial credit.
That's true. The courtesy. This one was definitely courtesy of Mr. John Kane's lens.
Nice.
Robert,
Which-
are you shooting 2 or 3 pictures of them at the same time?
Yes, it's yeah. I've got it on high speed.
You do. Okay. I wonder.
Continuous.
I wonder. Mhm.
So
All right. Smile.
am I up again?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Don't know if this person used flash or not, but it works in this instance. I don't care for flash. I don't know if this is a street light, but if they did, it works. I don't think they did because I don't see a lot of the catch light in the eye.
Mhm.
But again, skin tone lighting on the person is fantastic on the face. You've got definitely lots of detail. It's very sharp. I love the background that's just dark and it just if you don't mind the people on the side, they're going in the same direction. It just leads you down the road. It's nicely out of focus. Black and white, you have the whole from light to dark here. It's beautifully handled. Composed, I like it because I think they were trying to show the people walking in the opposite direction. So it definitely works. Who is the maker?
John Flores with a score of 18.
Talk to me,
That
Johnny.
was
Yeah.
iPhone 14 set on portrait mode. And I cropped it just a little bit on the left because there was a little blowout. You could see from a car auto right there. But there was no flash. This is just the street light. It's one of those things I was taking pictures of people in this little diner where we were eating and stepped outside and I said, "Sir, do you mind if I take your picture?" And he just leaned there and gave me a big smile. And I did it off center just to say, this is just the street in New Orleans. This is the way it is. Tourists are walking by, this guy's just doing his job,
So this is a stranger to you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He works at the restaurant that we just left. That's my brother and my wife in the background. He just and like I said, it's just a little vignette of this is life in the French Quarter. One guy's working, tourists are walking.
It just went up a notch again. Yeah. Very nicely handled.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's a really great casual portrait. Really terrific.
I'm like you, Robert. I like getting people,
Yeah. All walks of life, doing anything and everything in life.
Yeah.
Cowboy.
Well, isn't this a terrific action shot? Wow. It's just amazing. And I love the way that the guy is in the whatever it is, the bull or something, is so dark, and the rest of the thing is kind of faded off. It just makes him really, really pop. If it was mine, I probably would have cropped something off the left-hand side to put him a little bit off to the left-hand side. But it's kind of artist choice, and I understand where he's going. It's a wonderful capture, and yeah, it's a wonderful capture. Whose picture is it?
Patrick Murray rescored up to a 21 and got second place.
Very
Well,
nice.
Awesome.
Are we blowing these images up again on the screen?
Now we are.
Yeah. we
No,
are.
I
No?
mean,
No? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
there's blown up.
I
That
just don't
should
want
be.
to, I'm wondering if I'm seeing everything, or
Mhm.
if I'm have pieces that are cropped out. That's what I'm
Mhm.
wondering.
I'm trying hard not to, though I
Okay,
know my
okay.
finger slips occasionally.
Well, I think some of it is in the transmission because I know on my computer, the hat, you can see the whole hat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see, that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, because
It's
even
kinda
if
cut
I
off.
knock it
Yeah,
down, I
yeah,
can't see
yeah.
the whole
Yeah,
hat.
see, a minute ago, see, that's where it was a minute ago. Okay, whereas
No.
where on my screen, part of his boot on the left-hand side is cut off. And the top part of the top edge of the hat is gone. But just a second ago, you shrunk it down where I got all the hat and I got a little bit of space under his boots. There
I
you
can
go.
do that.
There you go.
This is what
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw
wanna
when
see
I
all of
was
it.
when
Yeah,
I was
because
talking about
It makes
it.
a difference. I mean, and
Mhm.
how I'm looking at how it's been cropped, et cetera. It makes,
Mhm.
at least to me, it makes a difference.
All right,
It also depends on what program you're using to use as a slideshow.
Ah.
Okay.
See, I think we've got everything that the image is supposed to show right now. Now,
Yeah,
you
and
put
this is the image I saw when I was talking about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't cropped then. I think it afterwards it got blown
Okay.
up.
I like the composition. The only thing I would do is slice off a little bit on the right, whoever that spectator is cut in one
Yeah,
quarter,
yeah. You got
and
like
cut
one
off the
quarter.
person that's over here on the right that you only see like a portion of their body. But
Mm.
other than that, I mean, this is fantastic,
So
man.
you'd leave the guy in the hat.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Fence.
I would just get rid
I
of the
don't know how
people.
you. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
the edges where the people are cut. I would just get rid of them.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Other than that, this is perfect, man. This is I love the shot.
And I don't know how, Patrick, I don't know how you get rid of the guy in the hat. In any effective way, other than chopping him in half, which is not effective. But I agree, on the left and right-hand side, you got partial bodies, those could go. Yeah, those could go. But other than that, yeah, it's really terrific.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, I would have cropped it between the guy with the hat sitting on the fence and the guy in the hoodie.
Yeah, a
Over
little,
there.
so it'd be a little tighter.
Mhm.
And then maybe
Well,
over to the,
so it would have
on the
been a
right,
little
over
bit
to
more
the
to the
post.
left.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
Right,
I'll-
maybe over.
I'll- Go ahead.
I said on the right, maybe over to the post right there.
Mhm.
But you do, if you keep the ratio, you're gonna lose the
Yeah.
hat on the cowboy. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
about
there
the
I would
best.
say a
Yeah.
custom crop, without getting rid of anything
Mhm.
out the box.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's powerful enough. I would keep the guy on the fence that has a hat. It just I don't know. It's just the hat
Oh,
itself,
yeah.
and the way he's looking
It's
on.
the hat.
It probably is.
It makes it kind of timeless. I mean, these are cowboys, and he looks like he could have come right out of 1880. He's out there with his hat.
Patrick, what are these guys referred to down there? Like caballeros or?
They are called
Gauchos.
not gauchos, but chagras. That's what it is.
Say that
Chagra.
again?
Chagra.
Chogra?
Chagras.
A chagra.
I'm not familiar with
Chogra.
that term.
Chagra. Chagra.
Chagra?
It's
Interesting.
like
I'm not
it's a
familiar.
cowboy. It's a
Ah.
cowboy.
I love the fact I mean it's a Spanish language, but a different dialect with a different name. I love it.
Very nice.
Yeah, and they do these rodeos, and it's really cool. I think the coolest thing about taking pictures down here is that you can just get right in there. Like I was this is taken with a 70-200, and I was maybe, I don't know, 10 yards from the guy, maybe 15 yards from the guy.
Wow, that's nice.
And you just can't do that in the United States. There's like liability and all kinds of stuff. And here, if you're stupid enough to get there, it's
You're dumb
fine.
enough to get
They'll
in there,
let
they
you.
don't care.
Enough to get in, they'll let you.
Excellent job, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Agreed.
gonna save you from yourself, I guess.
Keep them coming, Patrick.
Okay, first dance after saying I do.
Okay, I think this
Trish?
one's mine. I think this is just a lovely shot. She's looking right in his face. All the detail and the line on the dress is there. I think it's beautifully exposed. Everything's nice and sharp. There's a little area of the rock near her, kind of by her elbow, that's a little bit blown out, but I don't find it overly distracting. I would like to see the bottom of the gown. Again, I don't know if that's just the way it's showing on my screen or if it's actually cut off, but I would have liked to because it's laying there so nicely. It's got that beautiful flow. See, there you go. It's there.
Maybe there's an auto size on.
Yeah, yeah. But
I'll
it's,
have to look.
I think it's beautiful because it's got that nice shape and your eye just follows it down. I think it's just really nicely done. It's a terrific memento, I'm sure. Who's the maker?
Tammy Cothy Ramsey, after several rescores, a score of 21 for third place.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Nice. Very nice.
Really nicely handled.
Hang on, I can't. Table lamp and cases.
Robert?
Okay, I'll take this. First impressions. Love it. I mean, it's okay. Now go back. Ken,
There.
there you go. I think, yeah, I didn't try. Go back to the other one else. I want to see something.
Yeah.
Because I can see the black at the top here.
Yeah.
Me too.
So that's why I'm thinking it's good.
But I'm
Me
not
too.
seeing it at the bottom.
Yeah, I see a little black at the bottom. Okay.
There you go. Now I do.
Oh yeah. The lighting, it is so subdued. To me, it's I don't know if you would equate this to like a Norman Rockwell-ish, but I like it. At first, first gut instinct, I love it. I love the lighting of the lamp, the way it just casts off. I see where the last suitcase at the bottom, the last, I don't know, they call them a grip back in the day. You're getting a little soft. So I see where the focus is at, more towards a lamp. To me, this is very artistic. I dig it. If it were totally sharp, I would say yay, but the composition is fantastic for what the individual is trying to do. I dig the artistic look to this. I really do. Maker?
John Kane score of 19.
Yeah, it's a nice still life.
Yeah.
It's a fine art shot, and fine art shots
There you go. Yeah.
are not in focus.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
So that's how
The
you
only
make
thing that's in
fine art
focus,
shots.
the
You
only
shoot
thing in
out of
focus is the flowers.
Uh-huh.
The one on the side
Inside
of
the
the
lamp,
lamp
yeah,
and the one
inside the
in the
lamp,
lamp.
yeah.
Very nicely handled. What is that, John? That metal pot or container. It looks like a milk.
The
It
milk
is.
can? Talking about the milk can?
It's a milk container.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's all. All right.
When you milk the cows, you used to pour the milk in those things and carry them inside.
See.
Carried many of them.
You just proved you're older than me. Well, I know what that is. I've never carried one.
Aye.
I think the only people here that's older than me is Peter and Ernie.
And I never carried one either. Grew up in Chicago. We didn't have them in Chicago. We had little bottles.
Well, I worked on a dairy farm. My family's farm was a dairy farm way
Okay.
back when.
Kudos to you, brother.
Wabash Avenue.
Well, talk about Chicago. Here we go.
Yeah.
Can you take a bad picture in Chicago? And not really. I love walking around Chicago. Just everywhere you turn, there's something interesting to take a picture of, and this one is no exception. It just has a real kind of urban, grungy look to it that I think the guy was probably going for when he took it. Do I wish there was a little bit more detail in the elevated? Maybe not. Kind of, again, it's kind of artist choice. But that the composition where the leading lines are going off to the left, and then the building's off to the right, and the way it's cropped, and with that nice little building off in the skyline, it's just handled very, very well. And who's the maker?
Steve Manchester. It went in and out, and it won for honorable mention.
There you go.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Peter. I would like a little more detail under the railing there.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but I love the lines of it and how it starts in that upper left corner and just drags you all the way back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, lines are terrific.
But like John was saying, sometimes your image is that you want it to be dark and moody and
Right.
not as sharp as
Right.
right.
Sure. I love the lamps, these lamps. I mean, in both sides of the street, it's just like they really make this pop. You got more of a grungy industrial look with the what do you call it, metro railing there.
Mhm.
And then you got a little bit of an elegance deco thing with the lamps all around.
Yeah,
That's called the L, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
Yes.
Elevated, right.
monochrome usually has
Yeah.
more contrast. And
Yes.
showing detail in the L would not be showing the beams on the bottom, which support the L. That to me is key to the image. The cross struts on the inside of those, I don't really care about. I want to see that the L itself and the vehicles underneath. What I don't really like about the image is I wish the buildings in the background were the same as the ones on the right. So the
Well-
tonal quality in the background, maybe it needs a sky, a little bit different handling of the sky or something to show. I know they're in the sun, they're brighter, but it's Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago is nothing but shadows. That's what's cool about it.
All right.
Mhm.
Ancient hallway.
Trish.
okay. Well, I love all the textures of this. Of course, back to leading lines, right? And these pillars that come in from the right. Terrific. I mean, your eye is drawn straight to the back. What's going on back there? Lots of textures, lots of tonal quality. This is just a really fun image. I mean, it just zeroes you right into the back, smack there. And the details are amazing. Who's the maker on this?
Peter Florzak, it was the out of the in and out with a score of 20.
Where is that, Peter?
It's Angkor Wat in Cambodia.
I was just gonna say that. It looks like part of
Mhm.
Asia or something.
Beautiful.
Wow. Was this done with your Pentax?
Yeah, that's what I was shooting back then, right?
Wow. Amazing.
Fog bound tree.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, let me take this one since I
Yeah.
got skipped. I love shots like this. You know, they just what fun. I mean, can you just imagine standing there in the fog and then coming upon this weird looking tree and getting to crop it, you know, so it fills the frame and getting that black and white texture and that ethereal look to the fog coming in. I'm envious. I wish I was there to take this picture. I live for these kind of moments. And it's just it's handled really well too. I'm glad that in this case there isn't a lot of detail in the trunk and stuff. There wouldn't have been detail in real life, and it just captured the mood really well. Who's the maker?
Tim Kirkland with a score of 18.
Nice job, Tim.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'm up.
This is Feed Me, Feed Me.
Okay, a couple of things here. Wow. I think as a photographer, definition and detail on white is like ridiculously to me. It's an art. Um, definitely see the difference between the white in the background, which I assume is sky, and the foreground, which is snow, whether it's a hill or whatever, snow covered, and the white with the birds and the gray. I mean, it runs the whole spectrum of black and white here. Um, it is handled very well. Would I have liked to have seen the eye on the bird with the fish? Yeah, but you know what? At this point, with this much detail and this much art put into it, I love it. It's great. It composed beautifully. So, you know, it's like, feed me, man. You know, it's like, I got my mouth open. I'm waiting for you. Come on, mama. You know, I dig it. Who's the maker?
Marie Plummer, second place. With a final score of 22, it looks like. Yes.
Very nice, Marie.
Yeah, I agree. My first thought too was I can't see that eye, but I felt the same way as Robert. This white on white on white on white and still being able to see all of this definition. The only place where I felt a little bit lost was on the little piece of ice that the little bird's on to the right. But that was an afterthought. I didn't even notice it at the beginning. I just think this is really such a terrific story, and it's really handled beautifully, I think.
Well, that was taken on a Zodiac in rough water.
It's beautiful.
Whoa.
Yeah, really nicely done.
All I gotta say is whoa.
Yeah.
I have met my arch nemesis on bird photography.
One of those National Geographic images.
That's right.
Yeah, really, it's really terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean I gotta give her my patch?
Your patch.
He's
My-
National Geographic photographer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a patch I have on my vest.
Oh. Man of War.
Is this mine?
I guess so.
Okay. All right. I think this is such an interesting creature. First off, I want to say that I love that this is shot from down on the sand. I think it's a really good perspective. I wish that there were a little more contrast in this image. Maybe that's not even the right word. I think I wish that foreground were just a little bit brighter, and I probably would have cut some of that sky out because I don't think it adds. I would have had that horizon much closer to the top of the image. But I do love the detail in this Man of War. It's beautiful. I love the shine on the top of it. I think that draws your eye to it. I wish there were a little more going on as far as what's on the sides. It's just kind of this thing sitting on the beach. But I guess that's what Man of Wars do. They sit on the beach. Yeah, so I guess cropping a little more from the top and maybe a little brighter down toward the bottom of the image. And that's all I can say. But who's the maker?
Shimon Israel with a score of 20.
Thank you.
This is awesome.
Yeah, honestly, I might have cropped this again, probably vertically instead of horizontally. Maybe even square. Because I don't feel like all the other sand adds anything to it. But I think it's a terrifically sharp image of a really unusual creature. And I would like the eye to go straight there without too much distraction. So that's probably what I would say, is just crop it differently.
Thank you.
I had to look up what a Man of War was.
You don't want to mess with one.
Amazing, yes. It's beautiful, great detail. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What beach did you shoot this on?
Galveston
Eesh.
at the what is it? The south end off the seawall.
Oh, they're beautiful, aren't they? They're just so weird looking.
Yes, they
Are
get
these-
periodically inundated on the beach, and you have to be very careful.
Yeah. They will
Wow.
hurt you. They will
It
definitely
will hurt you badly, even
Yeah.
even days after they're washed up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So are they there because they got washed up and they get washed back out, or?
Sometimes they get washed back out, but mostly it's this kind of a seasonal thing.
Mhm.
The tides bring them in en masse, so you have to watch it in the water. You have to watch them on the sand.
Mhm.
They can be very, very painful.
Yeah, they can't actually
Yeah.
move. They
Yeah.
don't.
It's kind of like jellyfish once they get on the beach.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Very much like that.
A lot of them show up down at Port A,
Yeah.
so you have to be real careful down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my family went to Port A and I swam right into one of those things, and it
Oh,
was,
boy.
Oh,
it's terrifying. You just can't get
I've
away
never
from it.
actually seen one in the flesh.
Yeah.
if you
I-
put them in the water, if you pick one up and you put them in the water, then their tentacles are all like curled up like corkscrews, and they eventually relax, and then those tentacles start to drift back down in
Yeah.
the water. It's quite fun to watch, as long as you stay out of the way.
that's
Mhm.
right.
If you have a little
Wow.
sail on the top, that the
Such a
wind
weird
catches
creature.
and
Wow. At first, when I first saw this, at first glimpse, I thought it was a small chunk of ice, like somewhere in Greenland, Iceland, or something, because of the blue hue.
Yeah,
Then you notice the detail on it. It's amazing, beautiful creature.
yeah,
I'd never
fascinating.
seen one until now.
yeah, I like the way the image is composed.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I think that might be what you're going for, you know, the isolation of the beach, which you can see, and then this
can see
one little
that.
creature in the middle, and you know,
And the subtle light rays in the background coming through from the clouds.
mhm.
Yeah.
I see that. I like that.
Very minimalistic.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Caddo Lake Rain.
All right, I think I'm up here. Um, the colors, man. I mean, the colors. Even though there's vibrance in the green, it's a little more subdued. I dig that, and as it goes away, it's a little more subtle. You know, some of the color tapers off. I think that's probably because of the morning, maybe the mist or the hue. I don't know. First glance, you'd say, "Oh, this is busy," but no, it's not. It's nicely framed between two trees. You got the branches, and your eye just gets led down the middle, and it's a beautiful detail. I don't know if that's called that vegetation that hangs off the trees that looks dead. Anyway,
Moss.
moss, is it moss? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Spanish
it's got
moss.
beautiful moss. It's got beautiful detail. It's very almost to the point artistic. I really like it. Who is the maker?
Peter Florzak, score of 23 for first place.
Oh, I changed my vote. Never mind.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
It
I think the
is.
composition is top notch, Peter.
No, thank you.
Were you on a canoe or something, Peter?
I'm on a canoe. I usually bring my little inflatable with me when I go out there and just sit in the boat. You know, it's in front of Cattle Lake State Park. There's not a very big bay, but it's interesting everywhere you look. You'd love the birding over there. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So this must be a summer shot.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was probably like May.
Because I
Yeah.
was there in
The
the
trees are still green. Yeah.
I was there in January and there was very little color.
It's totally different in January.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's the great part about it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And I'm assuming the fall, all the cypresses are riot of red, I'm guessing.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty.
Are there gators in there?
Yes.
There are. I have never really seen one though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
The difference stand out.
Well, talk about a nice little artistic shot. You know, you walk along and you just see this one little leaf that sticks out, and you point your camera down at the ground, and you know, you hunt for a composition and put them off center, and you know, contrast them with the rest of the leaves, and you know what fun it is to take an image like this. So I think it's really well done. Appears to be a little over sharpened. I'm not sure whether it's because it was a lower resolution, the way it was sent in or something like that, but the composition and the colors and everything are just fantastic in this image. Who's the maker?
Tammy Cothy Ramsey, score of 18.
That leaf is like a starfish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah. Well, and you know, what crossed my mind, this is kind of a bizarre thing, but that the little stem that's coming off the left arm of the red leaf,
Mhm.
he looks like a conductor to me. So
Yeah.
I just thought it was a fun image.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Cock on the Rock, Cock of the Rock, Cock o' the Rock.
Robert, is it your turn or my turn?
It's
think
your
it's your-
turn, Trish.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. Okay.
Passing the buck, Trish.
I love the light captured in the eye of this bird. I would like to have this cropped a little more so I was focused just on the bird. I think having some of that plant background gives me a sense of place, which is great, but I feel like I have more than I need. And I find this little bit of whitish at the bottom a little bit distracting. So I would definitely make an effort to get rid of some of that if I could. I love the brilliant red on this. It's a bizarre animal. I don't think I've ever seen one of these. I love how sharp and crisp that eye is. It really grabs my attention. It's right where my eye goes, which is what should be happening. Yeah, who's the maker? Ken, do we know who the maker is?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you over all the
Okay.
static. Patrick Murray, score of 18.
This is such a bizarre bird, Patrick.
Yeah, it's called a cock of the rock,
Cock of the Rock.
and it's a translation of the Spanish gallo de la peña, which is like saying it's a
Hey, get out.
chicken of the woods or something. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Chicken of the woods is a
Something
mushroom.
like that, yeah.
That's
They
interesting.
have one at San Antonio Zoo
Chicken of the woods is a mushroom.
They do.
in the bird sanctuary.
Interesting.
They call it a chicken because it makes such a racket. If you've ever been around chickens, you know what a racket they make. And
Yeah.
mornings and in the evenings, these guys all get together and they're doing the mating. What is it? It's not a dance, but it's like whoever can squawk the loudest gets the girl.
It's the chick.
Squeaky,
Yeah.
squeaky wheel getting the grease, so to speak, right? Interesting.
Yeah, I would have liked to have cropped this further in, but it's already so cropped in that
What are you
if I
Are
did
you
crop
worried
it
about
any more, the
resolution?
grain would just be
Yeah.
crazy.
I could see that.
wings?
All right. Now, background being green and unfocused really makes this image pop with the white in the foreground and that yellow. That eye is super sharp. I can see where the maker was going with the crop. The composition works in this case, and these feathers are pretty tight and sharp. And I'm assuming that's like, I want to call it feather residue. That's all these little specks that are all over the place.
Those are other bugs. Those are bugs flying around.
Oh, wow. Okay. It is it handled very nicely, almost on the border of being blown out, but it's not, in my opinion. It's great and has great detail. Maker?
Trish Stone, honorable mention. Couple of rescores for a final score of 18.
Cool. I gotta stop saying cool. All right.
Found a crab.
Whose turn is it?
I think it's Peter's turn.
It's mine?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, nature is supposed to be all about capturing a really dynamic movement, a really dynamic image. And you're supposed to give it, for getting something like this, for capturing it right at the instant when it's got the crab, you give it a little leeway, because this is a terrific image that you just couldn't get. It would be wonderful if you could get all your settings just perfect and everything, and the bird was tack sharp, but the image, the capture of this moment in time more than makes up for the little bit of resolution that the bird is missing. I probably would have cropped a little bit off of the top to kind of focus more on the bird, but it's a wonderful capture of this guy getting a crab. Who's the maker?
Steve Manchester, score of 18.
I think we've got it wrong here. I think the crab caught himself a Green.
Oh.
I think that's what it is.
That's what I'm seeing. Do y'all remember the poster a few years ago of the frog in the
Frog
pig's mouth?
choking the.
You know, choking. That's what it looks like. He's going, I'm not giving up.
Pretty
It's
cool
great to
capture.
watch these guys try to eat them, you know, when without hands to try to get them down their gullet is quite interesting.
Ay, ay, ay.
The great heron.
Trish,
Whose turn is it?
yours, Trish.
Okay. This is a great capture of a bird in flight. I think we all know there's been a little bit of conversation about it tonight about just how hard it is to get the bird moving, because you almost have to kind of anticipate where that bird is going. You have to have a real fast shutter speed. You got to be mindful of your background, all of those things. And I think this does a nice job of capturing a bird in flight. I think it's fairly crisp. The resolution be a little bit better, but my only complaint is the background, and you don't always get to choose the background. I think the bird gets lost in the background here a little bit, but I think the color kind of helps you see it. But I think as far as capture of a bird in action, I think it's terrific. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Who's the maker?
Robert Moreno, a couple of rescores and final score of 23 and third place.
Yeah.
Nice job, Robert.
Thank you, sir. I
Yeah.
wish the building wasn't there and he wasn't as close to the tree lines, but you get what you get.
Right,
Very well.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so I'm saying it's too bad that the background's busy, but you don't get to choose that.
Well, the
Where
image
was it,
is so
Robert?
sharp. I
Yes,
think you
exactly.
could have cropped in more on the bird,
Mhm.
and because he's so dynamic.
Yeah, he is dynamic.
Okay.
Is that a blue heron, Robert?
Yes, it's a heron. And I mean,
Great blue hair.
I waited till he took flight for over 30 minutes. I am consumed with catching a heron in flight, man. I'm telling you. And there's not very many at that location. I think 2 is the most I've seen at one point.
Where were you at?
A little place called Elmendorf Park, right near Our Lady of the Lake University.
I know where that is.
Yeah. It's full of cormorants and egrets, but you've got 1 or 2 herons that make a show from time to time.
Very nice.
He's beautiful. Look at the eye too on him.
Yeah, it's really terrific.
And one of those 2 is very temperamental, so he's always getting into a hassle with an egret, and I want to capture that interaction, you know. So, yeah. I am progressing slowly.
I think you're doing great. You're coming along really nice.
This is a super image. Like I
Yeah.
say, I really think cropping in more. I mean, because the eye even gets kind of lost because he's so far in the distance. But the bird and the the wingspan and everything is so dynamic.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Yes,
It with all its imperfections, I really like it.
me too. Me
I'm
too.
gonna keep trying.
Yeah.
Old white nose.
I think I'm up.
Mhm.
All right. First thing people would say, okay, you cut them off at the, I don't think they have ankles or whatever, knees. But anyway, I like this. From the detail of the long grass coming up in the foreground to its mouth having some grass or hay, whatever it's called, to the color of the background that complements his dark fur or skin or fur. I love the detail in the mat of its fur as well. You've got some catch light. The composition's almost like at a little past the halfway point, which is fantastic. It gives you a leading some negative space there. The big point is the background, the color. It's just the golden complements the what is it, a buffalo or bison? Well done. The horns are, see the detail, the texture. Love it. Maker.
John Kane, score of 22.
Nice, John.
I think this
Looks
is
like a painting.
fantastic. It
Yes.
does. I agree. I think that background just makes him pop. The lighting on him is beautiful. You have that light catching the eye. I think this is a beautiful image. Absolutely beautiful.
This
Well
guy got so close I could almost reach out and touch his head.
So is this
When I
considered
took this
buffalo?
shot, when I finished this shot, he was 10 feet away from me.
Oh my gosh.
You were in a car, I hope.
No, I was standing in front of the car.
Oh boy.
Susie got in the car.
Oh, boy.
John's fast. He could have outrun him.
It's clearly the brains of the outfit.
No, this is a very friendly buffalo. I mean, he was not afraid. He was busy grazing on the grass on the side of a hill, and he was slowly moving up the hill. And I have it's my 70 to 300, and I started out at 300 and he's at the bottom of the hill and he's slowly working his way up. When I got down to 70, he actually filled the frame.
Wow.
And
No, it's beautiful.
it was just, I dropped the camera and I looked at him and I go, God, he's looking right at me.
I'll call John Tatanka from now on.
I had a lot of fun with this guy.
It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like a painting.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wonderful shot.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
Locust Hall.
My turn.
Who went last? Robert?
Robert did.
Oh, then I guess I go.
Oh, no, I
right?
think it's your turn, Peter, because I
Yeah.
did the book before that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, here's an unusual shot, with the metal and then the whatever that
Cicada.
the I don't even think it's the animal. I think it's just the skin of it or the
Yeah, that's the cicada shell.
shell of it,
Yeah.
But again, for the photographer to be walking wherever they were and to see this shot and to get an image of it and capture it and everything is just a wonderful experience. The bottom of the chain is sharp.
Come on
The
in.
cicada is not necessarily as sharp as I
Okay.
wish it was
Hang on.
like that, but the black background just kind of makes the whole thing pop off the screen. And I love the way it's cropped. It's very, very artistic shot. Who's the maker? Did we lose you, Ken?
Did we lose Ken?
Kenny.
Ken's muted.
Sorry, I had other things pop up.
Oh, okay.
Tim
Yeah.
Kirkland with a score of 19.
There you go.
Wow.
Y'all couldn't see because the background's fuzzy. And travel. And let me go over here. Round Island Lighthouse.
Now it's Trish.
Oh, now it's my turn, I guess.
Mhm.
I really like this image. One, because it's clearly there's travel involved. It fits the category title, which I think is really important. But I love that little sunburst on the side. It would have been really easy to that could have just been a big blowout on the right side of that lighthouse. But that little bit of burst that reflects on the front of the lighthouse is really eye-catching. It's not off-putting. I think it's beautiful. And I think that light over there kind of shines a little bit, enough to bring the little red foliage in the front out, which I think is a nice touch. I do wish that the top of the lighthouse had a little bit more detail in the darkness. I do like that I can see the all the brick and all of that. I think this being centered works really nicely. Yeah, I think my only complaint is I wish I saw a little more detail in the top, but otherwise I think it's really terrific. Who's the maker?
Tammy Cothy Ramsey, a couple of rescores for 21 and honorable mention.
Nice job, Tammy.
Wherever you are.
Choir practice. Tradesman practice, I'm sorry.
Ah,
Now, Timmy told me how to pronounce this, and I still don't know. La Champs-Élysées?
Oh, Champs-Élysées.
Okay, that works.
it's
Robert?
definitely a beautiful travel shot. I'm assuming this is a sunset with these pinks and light oranges, and you know, just the color as it goes up, it kind of fades into a lighter color. You've got the beautiful outline of the buildings. You got the perspective of going up the road. You've got the red lights, the headlights. Um, it's a beautiful city shot. It's handled well. We definitely know it's travel because it ain't San Antonio, that's for sure.
Paris.
Not with that name.
There's
Paris.
just enough
That's Paris.
detail in those.
Champs-Élysées is Paris.
I'm sorry?
Champs-Élysées is Paris.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
there's
the
def-
wide avenue, and what most people see on the Champs-Élysées is that one is you're going to see the Arc de Triomphe, and that's what most people recognize. But that's where you'll see a lot of modern buildings in Paris. But this is obviously taken up from somewhere high. And I think
They
it's
were
great.
lost when they took this shot. The
Maybe
Arc de
they
Triomphe
took
is
it from
behind
above
them. They're probably in a hotel on the
Yeah.
13th floor,
Yeah,
shooting the wrong direction.
I agree. I agree. But it's still a really interesting shot.
all right.
Well,
Very nice.
Steve Manchester's the maker with a score of 19.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Trish?
Okay.
Dickens on the Strand.
This is just a fantastic image of a bird. I think the detail is great. I love that little, even the partial bit of the face of the handler. The background is soft, which is great. I have one problem with this image, and I really struggled with it the other night. I know the only qualification for travel is it has to be taken out of Bexar County, but something in my mind has to say this was taken somewhere else. And in my mind, this could have been taken anywhere. There's nothing about this that says travel to me. And the title didn't help me either. I think it says something Dickens on, I don't know. I
On
was
the
very
Strand.
confused. What's, pardon?
On the Strand.
On the Strand. I was very confused by that. Having said that, this is a fantastic image of this bird. You know, sharp as it can be, it really stands out. It's cropped in nice and tight. I wish the tail tip of the feathers hadn't been cut off, but again, it's a minor thing. You know, I love that you can see even the details, even in the fabric of this, that this man is wearing. It's really beautifully shot. Who's the maker?
Peter Florzak, first place.
Peter, where was this taken?
It's Dickens on the Strand in Galveston.
Okay.
It's their Christmas festival. And you know, Trish, I don't disagree with you. We've had problems with travel all along with interpretations. And I understand exactly what you're saying. It could have been taken anywhere. There's nothing that really says Dickens on the Strand Christmas Festival here. I just like the image and put it in, but
Yeah.
No, but as soon as you say the word Strand, you think of Galveston.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing I can think of in Galveston is the Strand and the big white horn that hangs on the side of the building.
See, Strand for me says London. Huh. So, but I'm looking at this guy in the background and I'm seeing the ball cap and I'm going, that's probably not London. So I was very confused by that. But beyond that, I think it's a fantastic image. You know, love the detail. It's just really beautifully done.
I looked at it and I thought, first thing I thought it was Renaissance Festival.
It is kind of a Renaissance,
Okay.
you know, it's
I
it's a
think this guy has been to both Renaissance festivals.
Yeah.
And
It's a
he flies his
Victorian
bird. He flies his bird around,
Mhm.
and then he lands up on his arm like that, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, it's a Victorian festival that's first weekend in December in Galveston, and
Yeah.
everybody has to dress in period costumes. Victorian, your booth has to be decorated as Victorian. I did it for many, many, many years, and I don't even remember what this is even before my Pentax camera I had.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. Great detail.
And I
I'd
love.
like to see you dressed like that, Peter.
I hated it. I gotta tell you, I am not a costume person. I had a top hat and tails and spats and the cane and all that kind
Oh,
of
I
stuff.
love
And
it.
and then as I got older, I got heavier, and of course I didn't want to buy another costume, and so it got tighter and tighter and more uncomfortable as time went on. And so yeah, I'm glad I'm not doing it anymore.
One more thing, Peter, I like the square crop of this. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it serves it well.
yeah. It did cut off the feathers though when I did
Yeah.
the crop.
Yeah.
C-Stacks.
All right, I'll take this one, Brandon, since you did it. You know, this is just such a wonderful travel image. This is kind of what travel is all about. You know, who wouldn't want to travel to a spot like this and just stand on the beach and, you know, take picture after picture of the waves crashing, you know, trying to get the rollers just right, and those really interesting stacks up in the background. You know, I'm guessing it's kind of a wintry thing, you know, because it's kind of cloudy and dark. Something is off with the mountains and kind of a posterization again with this. I'm not sure whether it's from, you know, compressing it down to a couple megs, or maybe that's the way it was, but you know, still, I could have almost darkened them and it would have been a terrific image. Who's the maker?
Marie Plummer, couple of rescores for a final score of 20 in third place.
Where was this, Maria?
Iceland.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to take this? Yeah.
I love the spindrift.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool.
It is very nice.
Yeah, the water's gorgeous.
I'm jealous.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Gone fishing. Or fishing.
Yeah, Trish.
Peter or
Oh,
Trish?
I'm happy to take this one. This is just such a fun photograph. I love the story. I love all the seaweed on the beach and the bucket and the poles are nice and crisp, and the clouds, and I love that there's kind of an angle to the water here, so it's not, you know, straight on. The exposure is beautiful. The colors are bright. I like everything about this image. When I first saw this, I swear to you, I smelled fish. Or I smelled ocean, really, maybe that's it. That briny, salty smell. And these guys are probably telling each other a bunch of nonsense, you know. They're probably telling stories while they're fishing, but I just think this is a really great, fun image. It made me want to go there. I think it's terrific. Who's the maker?
Robert Moreno, a couple of rescores for a final score of 18.
Yeah, really terrific.
Where is it, Robert?
Medina Lake. I'm just kidding. It's in Galveston.
I was about to say, I don't think so.
It's in Galveston.
Oh my goodness.
Or we got a lot of rain that year. Yeah.
Yeah, really. Recently.
Nah, good old Galveston.
Galveston's been popular tonight.
Yeah.
I know.
And, and I've got to tell you, Robert, you can see that sun is over to the left.
Uh-huh.
And I love that left side of these guys could have been blown out, but it wasn't. I mean, it's really nicely done.
Gracias.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the time of the day is really important. At
Yeah.
least for me, and evoking that kind of feeling that you're on the beach, you know, that low sun.
Totally correct. This was early in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. That gives the water that special look, you know, very nice.
Yeah. Gives it a little more depth and dimension, I think.
And it's a travel photo. I mean, it kind of meets the definition of what a travel
Mhm,
photo
absolutely.
should be. Yeah.
Prismatic Springs.
I think I'm up.
Yep.
This has got beautiful color. The steam, the people in the background. You're a little what do you call it? Framed with these tops of these pine trees. Only thing that bothered I love the crop. The only thing that bothered me is I don't know if this was stitched together because in my eye, I see a line coming on the left-hand side, almost a little past the halfway point.
Yeah.
Does everybody see a line
It's
there?
there,
Yes.
it's there, and if you, I actually got up the other night and looked at this, Robert. If you look at the very back at the top, that very back area, there is a wooden fence where those people are. Or at the very, very top
Mhm.
area where the steam's almost blue. And you can see that the fence doesn't exactly line up, it jumps. I think this is a panorama, my guess, I could be wrong, that when it was stitched together in Lightroom or Photoshop, just had a little bit of issue there.
I
And that's
see.
why I think you see that line, because you see it lines up beautifully in the front, even though you can still see the line. But if you
I don't
look,
know what line you guys are talking about, but
Yeah,
yeah, there's definitely, yeah, right there. That's it, exactly.
You can
Yeah.
see the line in the water too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Goes straight through.
oh,
other than that, this thing is beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
But yeah, that was the one thing that bothered me, that stitch line.
Yeah.
But man, those
Oh.
colors are amazing.
well, let me tell you, you cannot get this in one shot.
Oh,
And I was shooting with an 11 millimeter,
whoa, whoa.
and it took 3 shots to get this. And that split is shot number 1, the middle is shot number 2, and the very far right is shot number 3.
Yeah.
And yes, it is stitched.
Well,
Oh.
if it had been stitched
Okay.
properly, it
But
probably
this
would have
is
won
this
first
is
place.
this is now called I don't really care. This is my favorite image because this basically I renamed to the Prismatic Heart Attack Springs.
Because you have to climb the hill to get to this spot.
This is the last picture I took in Yellowstone,
Yeah.
and it took me an
Gorgeous.
hour to get to the platform to take this picture, which is only like 300 yards.
Yeah, I know where it is.
But it's up a hill. It's
And
up
I fell 3 times.
Oh,
It took a couple times. It took 3 people to get me up, and was so out of breath that I ended up going in the hospital and having a triple bypass. So I just thought it was cool because it is so huge that you can't get it all in one shot. Even if you were standing down there where all them people are,
Oh, yeah, you
why
definitely.
people would stand down there to see this thing is I have no clue,
Yeah.
because you can't see it.
you definitely have it on the cool factor, man. That is gorgeous.
I
yeah.
mean, I never noticed the stitch line. I'm sorry, that's got to be my fault. But
That's all right.
I thought I had them all blended out. Oh,
Did
well.
you do it by hand, John? Stitch it?
Yes.
You did it by hand. You didn't have it automatically done by Lightroom or Photoshop.
No, I didn't know because Lightroom couldn't do it automatically.
Oh, why is that?
Then I had to go back and do a lot of fill. Okay, like the green line at the top is basically fill space. And I had to add some at the bottom because of the trees. And it's unfortunate that this is right dead center of the platform looking over the springs, and those 2 trees frame the shot.
Yeah.
There is no place anywhere on the platform to get a picture without those trees, because to the right is even more trees, to the left even more trees, and everybody, you have to wait your turn to get up to take this picture. So
Is there a rail where these people are so they don't fall in? It looks hot.
There's no rail.
No,
it is hot.
it is hot, and there is no. You're walking on like a boardwalk. Okay.
Oh, crap.
They're walking on a boardwalk in the background, and it actually goes in a circle.
Yeah,
There are 7
Yeah.
springs
it winds
Okay.
around, yeah.
on this circle. And there's two geysers, one over here to the far right, which is a dead one, and one over here to the far left, which is, I never saw it go off.
Wow.
In fact, I only saw one geyser go off the whole time we were there, and we saw them all. But
Here's a
that was-
stupid question, John. Is Old Faithful still active out there?
Oh,
Oh
yes.
God, yeah, this is the only one that still works.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And they have it timed in a chart when you go in the hotel, in the lodge. There's a sign there that tells you exactly when it's going to go off.
all right.
So you can go outside and be ready.
Yeah.
But if you stay in the lodge, go up to the second floor, there's a platform up there that you can sit back in a chair and have a nice pina colada or bourbon and Coke and watch it go off.
I'm there. You had me at bourbon.
Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to take up so much time. But I went to Yellowstone just to take this picture.
Wow.
It's a
Yeah,
gorgeous
never mind.
Appreciate your
picture, John.
dedication to your art, John. That was a lot of
Yeah.
work to get up there.
Yep.
And that line will not be there tomorrow.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you can get rid of that line easily in Photoshop with AI.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. It will
That's
fix
the
it
spirit.
perfectly.
That new erase tool is really cool.
Yeah.
Women washing.
Who's up?
I
have
don't,
no
who
idea.
did John's picture?
You did.
Robert did John's pictures. Yeah.
Robert did.
Okay, so this is my turn then. You know, here's a travel shot. You know, this is kind of the quintessential definition of what a travel shot is. You know, these women are washing their clothes. They're dressed in, you know, garb that we wouldn't normally see. You know, they have facial features that tells you that we're out of the country. You know, there's that great steam coming off in the background. You know, it's just the kind of the definition of what a travel photo would be, and it's handled really, really well. Who's the maker?
Patrick Murphy or Murray, I'm sorry. Couple of rescores for a final score of 21 in second place.
Congratulations, nice
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Very
Well
nice.
deserved.
Thank you. I was just walking down a road and these ladies there's a river, bridge over the river, and they were just washing clothes right there. It's kind of just
Yeah.
Yeah.
happenstance
It's
kind of
gorgeous.
thing.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Did they notice you?
I love how the colors pop in the midst of all that steam or mist. I just think it's really great.
And Lisbourne Plaza.
Is this mine?
Yes.
Yes.
This is an interesting kind of panoramic view of this plaza. Clearly, again, by the architecture, you can tell this is a travel shot. I find the negative space on the left a little distracting for me. And I think because I'm so far out, I'm not really sure where my eyes are supposed to go in this image. I don't know what I'm supposed to focus on. I do know that ultimately, after a little bit of wandering around, they land on that statue with the horse in the plaza. And so that's good, but you know, you got that little bit of blowout behind it, but I think it really makes it pop. I think I would have liked to seen this cropped a little more, just maybe so that my eyes would have landed a little more quickly. And I guess that's what I'll say. Who's the maker?
Shimon Israel for a score of 18.
I think the lighting in this is beautiful. I love that light coming in and the shadows. I think that's really great.
Thank you.
It would have been cropped a little more. You would have seen the likeness of me on that horse up there, huh?
Right. There you go. There you go.
It's nicely handled, Simone.
Thank you.
And Marina.
Marina. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Marina.
Okay,
Robert?
I dig the black and white, obviously. Handled nicely, blacks and whites. I would have loved to have a little more foreground of the water, which probably I'm assuming wasn't possible. The dock or the wall, seawall was there. It just it's a little it's cropped in a little too much. Again, that's probably not the photographer's fault. I love the detail, the sharpness of everything happening there. I mean, I love the layered look of the boats. You know, they're oh man, I am not nautical, but the front of the boats, I'll say. Everybody is kind of lined up and at an angle. Like I said, the black and whites are handled very well. Who's the maker?
John Flores, score of 19.
All right. John here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, Flores. I heard Suarez. I'm like, I don't
Yes.
know that person.
No,
Yeah, question. Did you have more foreground to work with or not?
I'm trying to remember. I took a number of shots. This was my old Canon 5100. I'm sorry, my Nikon 5100. I'd have to go back and look at the original because I cropped it and monotoned it.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're close to the edge because I see that like one on the left-hand side, like a piping or something coming. So I'm assuming you're close to the edge already. I like it. I mean, you've got some great tones in there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Give me 1 second. And tile composition.
Well, this is a creative category. To my mind, the image is supposed to look creative. I see what they were doing. I'm guessing that these were probably a bunch of different tile images that someone took and then they pasted them in an image and left the black lines separating them. For my mind, it just wasn't enough creativeness in the image, and so. But other than that, it's the images are all well captured, and I know it was probably hard to put them all together like that. So, maker.
Shimon Israel, score of 17.
Well, Peter, it's the opposite way around. The original is the bottom right, and all the rest are extractions from that image.
Ah,
So these are the components. Those 7 images are the components of the one in the bottom right.
interesting.
So they were crops from the bottom right?
Yes, they were extracted from them.
And then arranged in a grid pattern.
Yes, to show the individual
detail
elements that make up the final tile.
Well, it's so perfectly done that it doesn't look creative, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I think I would have,
definitely. I hate to put it that way, but
I would have thought of this differently had I known that.
Yes, I would have too. But
and I see the artistic creative side of it now that you explained that. Beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
Well, the beauty is really in the original tile, which is in a cathedral in Lisbon.
Wow.
And if any of you have ever been to Lisbon, you'll know the tiles everywhere of various kinds of patterns, simple and complicated. This was much more complicated. It's pretty big. If in the bottom right you can see the lines between the tiles, the individual tiles.
Right.
So it's pretty big. I'm guessing maybe 3 feet by 3 feet, something of that dimension.
Wow.
So I'm so fascinated by the symmetry and the work that goes into it that I decided to pull out different elements and show them individually because they're each so detailed and so
Yeah.
Mhm.
wonderful.
But like Robert said, if we had known what you were doing here, I'm sure it would have scored better.
Yeah, I think it would have definitely taken it up
Mhm.
a few notches.
Mhm.
Nice work.
Thank you. I'll tell the artist.
Thanks for
Yeah,
passing that on.
after you pass.
Yes.
Trish.
Ah,
This
I
is
just
the
think this was really fun. I saw
Colors
this, what's
of
it called
Ice.
again? The Colors of Ice or something like that?
yeah, the colors of ice.
I love the textures in this. I love how the brownish looks kind of smooth, but you get up in the upper left and it's kind of more textured. I looked at this image and my first thought was, iced coffee. That's the first thing that crossed my mind. And I just think it's really, really fun because there's just lots of places for your ice to go. Textures, lines, colors, smoothness, sharpness. It's just really, really fun. And I'm assuming it's a macro of a piece of ice that's kind of been manipulated to some level. I don't know, but I just think it's really fun. It's really fun to look at. And I could probably, if I didn't have a title, I could have look at it for a long time and not probably identify it, which is kind of part of the fun for it for me. Because it just keeps drawing me back and going, what is that? What is that? It's fun. Who's the maker?
Marie Plummer, score of 21 for third place.
Yeah, it's really fun, Marie.
Thank you.
So what did you do with this? How did you do this?
Oh, that was in the ice cave that I was in Iceland. And it's really not a macro. I didn't have a macro lens with me. It was taken with a 40 to 150, but as close as I could get it, that it would still focus.
Yeah,
It looks so liquid.
it does. It's especially that brown part. I mean, just everything about it is really fun to me.
Well, the brown is from the the sand and the dirt and everything, and it's got the light coming through that ice.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it's just
amazing.
really fun.
Wow.
Yeah, totally dig that.
Again, we're all jealous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's very abstract and I like it.
That's it. The camera club needs to make a trip to Iceland.
I agree.
Right, field trip, right?
I agree.
Okay, there you go, Trish. That's our next
Yeah.
trip.
I think it's gonna be an overnighter.
Ranch Road.
Think I'm up here. Ranch Road. Beautiful vista. Colors obviously manipulated. Gives it a really cool feeling or cold, whatever you want to, bluish tint. I think that's the what do you call it? Creative portion of it. You do have it's either a road or a path. It looks like two tire marks that run off into the distance. And I like it. It leads you down the middle of this sprawling hill. It looks to make a loop because you have it on the left-hand side as well. Now, vista-wise, it's beautiful. Composition wise, I probably would have cropped it a little bit more from the top. But it's a beautiful vista, nicely handled. So these screens are amazing. Who is the maker?
Patrick Murray, score of 19.
Is that a road path or a walking path, Patrick?
It's a road.
Okay.
It's a dirt road for
Dirt road, yeah.
it's an
That's
access
amazing.
into hacienda.
What is this like? I mean, what is this land used for? I mean, it's so green and just beautiful.
Well, this is infrared, right? So it's actually like straw colored grass.
Oh, okay.
Infrared. I think this is a 720 nanometer image. It comes out and then the sky gets that weird blue color, that weird blue cast. And just shameless plug, I'm doing a infrared thing at the next education meeting. So
Where is this
Red.
taken, Patrick?
This is above Quito, Ecuador, in the high Andean mountains.
Oh, beautiful.
Like maybe,
Probably would be out of breath up there. Jesus.
yeah, it's very high. It's very, you gotta, it's hard to get your breath. Yeah. Yeah. You can't walk too much. You get out of breath. Yes, definitely.
Wow. Oh, nice.
So, but next month, right, Johnny? The January education meeting, I'm doing something on infrared, right?
He's
Well,
sleeping.
I'm pretty sure that I'm doing something. in January.
Johnny.
So
Right.
we'll just walk through some stuff and we'll talk a little bit about infrared. So
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Something I know nothing about.
cool stuff.
Dreaming.
One of you guys will have to take it.
I think it's my turn anyway. Well, I mean, if this isn't creative, nothing is, right? You know, I can't say enough nice things about this image. I love that the face and the hand are realistic, and yet the brain and the rest of the body are, you know, kind of a mirror image of something that you're guessing that maybe she's dreaming, right? Maybe she's thinking about the time that she was in this wonderful place. It's just handled very, very well. Who's the maker?
Trish Stone, score of 24, first place.
There you go, and well deserved.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Trish, did you ever try different colored backgrounds? Just curious.
I did actually. I did. What I tried to do is if you look up at the top, I'm laughing because there's kind of a funny story about this, but if you look up at the top where the blue is at the top, it's the same shade.
Blends in.
And I saw a sample that kind of did that, and I really liked it. I did try a bunch of others. The funny thing about this is that when I did this, somehow I changed my monitor colors for the backgrounds on Photoshop to be this color, and I don't know how to change it because I have no idea what I'm doing, this creative stuff, right? I mean, I watch a video and I follow along and that kind of thing. So I don't know how I ended up changing my computer, but this color blue is now my permanent background color on my computer screen in Photoshop, and I don't know how to make it go away.
It's probably the setting on the monitor itself. You have
Yes.
to go into the settings of monitor settings with the buttons.
Yeah, I've got to figure it out.
Well, it's
weird.
working for you.
It's a lovely color, so it's not bothering me too much. But I mean, once I did that, and when this image comes up, if I look at this in Photoshop, it's weird because it's this on top of a background of the exact same color. So it's really odd to look at. But anyway, so yes, I have messed around with other colors, and I probably should not touch colors anymore.
It's very easy to fix. It's very easy to fix in Photoshop.
It probably is. Yeah, it probably is.
All right.
That's Bryce National Canyon, by the way.
Oh,
Elegant Bride watercolor portrait.
Shall I take this one?
oh,
I'll take it.
Matt, John, you,
I really liked this one because I love all the texture. You still have the details in the dress. It's first off, the starting image is terrific, I think. And that's helpful. And then this texture of sort of this brushwork, kind of black and white, but not really. I see a little bit of brown maybe in it, which I think adds some texture and detail to it. I think it's fantastic. I think it probably is well served. I'm guessing in the original that the upper right corner might be almost blown out. And that maybe there's a curtain that's right behind her head. I don't know, but with this treatment, I don't find that distracting. And it might be in the original, that line coming out of her head, but I think this is just really beautiful. You can tell who it is. I'm sure she would recognize herself. And I just think it's a really fun treatment of it. Who is the maker of this?
Tammy Cothy Ramsey, score of 22 for second place.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
That's a window behind her, Trish.
That's what I figured. I wondered if that wasn't a curtain line that's behind her head.
No, it was a round, like a rounded window that came from the roof and then came halfway down the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if in the original image, if that would have been because it comes out of the back of her head, if I might have found that distracting, but I think it does okay in this treatment.
Still in the meeting?
Yeah. It's really fun.
They can't see me, right?
Hmm.
Can they see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Reflected Lily.
Robert? Robert, are you there?
Robert, you're muted.
I've been censored. Okay.
By yourself.
Yes, yeah.
Self-censoring
Or,
is good.
or Pepe.
Self-censoring is good.
Pepe may have tap danced on the keyboard.
He might have. I'll have a word with him. Okay. Dark background, vibrant colors, very luminous. Reflection is spot on. It is gorgeous. I'm just thinking, even though it leads off, I believe that's a water lily pad on the bottom. Even though it may lead off to the left, I'm wondering if this would be just as a square composition. Either way, it's vibrant, beautiful, and well handled. Maker.
Steve Manchester, score of 18.
Wow. I know we've seen a lot of these, but he is getting better at this, I think. I mean,
Well, I think the reflection adds to this.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not that it was bad before, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's this one's he upped it up. He upped it up a notch here.
Yeah, my only question is on the reflection, there's like that black kind of square.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. I found that a little bit distracting, but overall, I agree.
Nice.
Fiddling around.
Well, this is a nice capture of people, band members, I'm sure, playing, playing at an event, and the photographer just played with this until they kind of got this washed out look in their face and probably darkened the background, and just had a lot of fun playing with all the different kinds of things that they could do in Photoshop to an image like this if they use Photoshop or whatever. And I just think it, after playing with it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 2 hours or whatever it is, this is what they settled on. And I think it's a terrific image. I think that it really is a lot of fun, creative thing to do to an event like this. It's still, you can still see the women in it, but it's got a lot of interest and a lot of real artistic artistry. So who's the maker?
John Kane, score of 18.
I loved it too. It's almost a high key kind of look.
Mhm.
I really dig it. I might have cropped a little bit of the black off the top, but I mean, I think it's terrific. I think it almost looks like it's on satin to me. That background has sort of a satiny look to it, and I think that kind of adds to it.
Very sharp.
Yeah,
It's a high key image,
yeah, that's what I was saying. I love that.
and it was actually shot this way on purpose
Yeah.
Hmm.
so that they would come out white.
Yeah.
With the lights shining on them and the dark around it. It was, yeah, it probably went too much, but it
No.
becomes an odd size if I start cropping it.
Yeah. No. This works.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I shoot these guys every year in different poses and different locations, but these are both band members of Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh, cool.
I was gonna say, the gal on the right, I thought I'd seen her in promotional stuff for Trans.
Yeah, she is the lead violinist. She's from Yugoslavia or someplace, and he is the lead guitarist, and he's from Sweden.
That's a he? Oh, okay, I thought it was two girls. Very nice. Damn.
This was actually shot with a little Sony point and shoot
That's awesome.
that I carry in my pocket when I go to the well, it's not called the AT&T Center anymore, but whatever it is.
It's not?
Frost Bank Center.
Yeah.
Now the Frost
Oh.
Bank Center.
Okay.
Frosty.
I did not know that.
So you
It's
can
awesome.
get that in because it's so little they don't see it.
What's what?
So you can get a camera in there if it's that little.
Yes.
Oh,
If it fits in your pocket, I take it out of my, it's not a professional camera. Okay. If it doesn't change lenses, it's not professional camera. However, I do have a, what is it? A 25 to 130 zoom on it. And I sit right in front of these guys. So they're on a platform that raises them in the air, and it raises them because I'm on like the second level and inside the center in seats. And that thing raises them up to where they're just right at eye level.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're all over the place. They have these big elevator lifts and stuff. It's
Right.
if you've never seen them, it's a fantastic show.
It is a fantastic show.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I see them every year.
Yeah, really fun.
Portland Lighthouse.
Is it my turn again?
Trish, yeah.
Okay. Okay, this looks completely like a painting to me. I like the textures in it. I particularly like the sky. It's got that heavy brush stroke processed into it through the whole thing actually, but I find it particularly effective in the sky. I like all the colors. I wish it were a little brighter down at the bottom, but that's no big deal. It's just a fun effect that's been added to this photo, which is probably in of itself a pretty great photo. It looks like something from the East Coast as well with the lighthouses, but really neat effect. Who is the maker?
Peter Florzak, score of 20 with an honorable mention.
Wow, this is basically an oil painting kind of texture. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, well, you know, I down through the years, I've tried all different kinds of programs to be able to get painterly effects.
Right.
And, you know, they're modern. This is an AI image, and you can't just tell it, give me an oil painting of your image. It's quite convoluted in what you have to do in Photoshop to actually get AI to come up with an oil painting effect. And so, you know, I tried it bunches of different times, and there's another layer on top, and, you know, the original layer is underneath, but AI was the main engine that did this. And I think it did a great job of, especially on the sky, like you say.
Yeah, the sky's terrific. That for me is the selling point. Yeah. Yeah, really good.
This is supposed to mimic an oil painting or a watercolor painting?
Oil painting. I put in
for
oil
sure.
painting.
Yeah, because
Gotcha.
you see all that texture in it, and that's definitely going to be oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yes.
Non-eclipse eclipse.
Okay, I think I'm up.
Yeah, Robert.
Creepy, eerie, love it. Composition, I think I would have gotten rid of some of the top there. But I love the way this was handled. It's almost a blown out sky or moon. I'm assuming it's a sun. But this greenish, yellowish tint just gives it a very eerie feel to it. And these, I don't know, these points. It looks like a church. I do see crosses there. It just gives it a surreal feel. Who is the maker?
Tim Kirkland, score of 17.
Ah,
Spooky.
And that's all.
yay.
That's all.
Mhm.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah. And
I
can I
love seeing
say,
everyone's photos.
we had some new contestants this month, I believe. Shimon, had you ever competed before with us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? I don't recall it. I
The
just-
one of the staircase looking down, I
Oh,
got
yeah.
a third place
Yes.
I remember
Mhm.
that.
Okay.
at the Whitney
I-
Museum.
I thank you for competing. I love seeing some images from you.
Oh, thank you.
I hope we'll see more. And I love that Tim sent in some images too. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and Trish, you want to mention about what happened at the Christmas party and how we were kicked out so early and how we might.
Yeah, I think most of you guys were there. But yeah, we were booted out of the Christmas party early. I'm gonna start looking again for some more places to go. I thought I would send this out maybe in a note. I haven't been at my best all week, but anyway, we've looked at Casa Helotes and Helotes, which is kind of a community center, but I thought that it was supported by the city. And that as residents of the city, which a number of our members are, we might be able to gain access to that. They are completely supported by local donations, so they rent their space. They need the money. So price-wise, I just don't think we can afford to go. They want $50 a meeting. They want us to meet Fridays. They want to be able to kick us out when somebody offers them more money, just all kinds of problems. But so long story short, as most of you know, because I think you were pretty much all there, we had to leave our Christmas party by 8:30 last week or the week before, which was really disappointing. I feel like we just got started, everybody was having a good time, and we had to pack up and hit the road. And that was really, really disappointing. So I'm open for suggestions. If anybody has any thoughts about where else we might be able to afford to meet, we want to look at that. Somebody mentioned the other day that perhaps the thing to do would be to agree if people were willing to pay for a meal wherever we met. So we wouldn't be paying for a rental space per se, but we might go to some place with a meeting room that, as long as we paid for a meal, they'd be willing to let us have the meeting room. So I need to throw that out, a feeler out there, and I'll send an email out basically kind of detailing that, and we can maybe talk about some places, but I want you guys to be thinking about that. Because outside of us starting at 6 o'clock, I'm finding our time at Lions Fields is really, really restricted. It just seems like every single time we go at 8:30, they're over there doing this thing. I feel rushed. I feel all kinds of things that are just not very good. I don't know how the rest of you feel about it, but I'm going to throw that out there. Any thoughts?
Can you?
That's the reason why we left them in the first place,
Yeah.
because they were so restrictive. There's so much stuff we cannot get done in an hour. Okay, even an hour and a half. I mean, look at this. We just finished this, and it took us
2 hours.
2 hours.
Right.
2 hours.
Exactly. 2 hours. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we either start moving the party to a restaurant where everybody buys their own meal and we, the club, can chip in or part of it, or
So
sorry, do away with the damn parties.
well, I'm not talking about just the parties. I'm talking about on a regular basis. Having a situation where if we could find a place, again, I'm just looking for feedback, and I'll put that out in an email so that everybody could have a say about that. But you know, if we had our meetings at a restaurant that allowed us to have the back room as long as everybody bought a meal, wondering how everybody feels about that, because ultimately, it's like you're paying dues plus you're paying more dues, because but at least you get a meal out of it. All I'm trying to say is that it's more expensive, obviously, if everybody buys a meal every time we meet. So I just want to throw that out there.
Trish,
You know.
Trish,
Yes,
I'm trying to get to, I know you've been talking with the people there about the scheduling and that. We are scheduled till 9 o'clock, correct?
that's
No.
my understanding.
And
No.
They have
maybe
to be
we're
out by
talking to the
9.
No.
wrong people.
We
Yeah,
are
they
scheduled
have
The
to
from
be out by
people
6
who
to
don't want to
8:30.
clean up after we're done.
Right, right. See, they have to, here's what the city is telling me, is that those employees have to be out the door by 9 o'clock, done, because they're not paying them another second of time. And if we run late getting out, then the employees don't get out. That creates all kinds of problems with them for their jobs. So I have no problem with leaving by 9, even that's restrictive. But I can't think of a time we've been there where they haven't come in at 8:30 and said, pack it up, and it doesn't take us 30 minutes to get out the door. It just doesn't.
Well,
I mean,
because our time, Trish, is 6 to 8:30, not
yes,
till 9.
yeah, that's a problem.
Right.
I don't know why that's the case. They're there till 9.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I
I don't
told them
know.
that we want to be there till 9.
Mhm.
And we're happy to be out by 9, but this 8:30 business is a problem.
Hmm.
And why do we need to leave at 8:30 if somebody's there till 9? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why the rush for us to be out if they have to be out by 9? And again, I can talk to Marie down there, or Mary, is it Mary? Anyway, I can talk to her down there, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Probably the best we can get out of them is 8:45.
Yeah. And like I said, I have not noticed the Scrabble people that are in our old room being pushed out the door like we're being pushed out the door. And I don't know if it's because of the room we're in and things they have to do to it. I don't know. We were told at the party that they were trying to make arrangements to move some other things back into that room for the next day. And so that's why they needed the time. But that seems to be every time we show up. So I know a lot of clubs meet in restaurants, and that's where they hold their meetings, and that's fine. I know most restaurants have a minimum. That may be a challenge for us as far as dollars being spent because of our number of members. But I can investigate that. But I don't want to spend a lot of time investigating that if nobody's interested in doing that.
What
So,
about showing photos at a restaurant? Isn't that a little problematic?
well, it depends. Some restaurants have a back room where we can do that.
Okay.
Some restaurants even have a back room with a projection screen. So, which is like, Chester's does. I know Capture San Antonio or Photography San Antonio or whatever it is,
Yep.
they had their meetings there.
Mhm.
But I know when I checked one time, I think they wanted a $250 minimum, which is not always easy depending on how many of us there are. So
Just need more people.
well, yeah, if I could make them, I
Well,
would.
okay, let me tell you this. Susie and I are looking for a place. I think we found a place. We're going to Scoozy's. For our family is coming in January for a funeral, for her mother's funeral. Okay. There's about 30 to 35 people. And we've checked around in all the different places that have separate rooms, okay, that you can go into. They all basically charge for their rooms.
Yeah.
The only one that doesn't is Scoozy's. And the reason Scoozy's,
Scoozy's.
and the only reason they don't is because they're so expensive.
I was just gonna say that Scoozy's is not cheap. Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, and since mom is paying for it, we're buying for everybody. But that's not something that everybody can go to. but there are different places. I mean, that you can go into, you can have separate rooms, but some of the rooms are $50. Some of them are $75. We found one. It's the other day we looked. Mama's. They want $150 for their room.
Yeah, yeah. Plus,
It only holds 30 people.
plus food. So for me, I don't have any problem if everybody comes in and buys a meal. I personally have a problem. Like I said, everybody else would have to decide for themselves whether that was something they want to do. But if there's an additional fee for the room, we will be collecting that every time
Yeah.
which is, that's up to you guys, I mean, is that something you're remotely interested in? And we don't have to answer this tonight. I'm just throwing that out there. These are things we've got to think about, because it's very difficult to find a place to meet. I mean, Lionsfield doesn't charge us anything, but we have such a limited situation there. And, the earlier we start, the fewer people can make it. Anybody who's working, forget it. They can't make it there at 6:30. It's just impossible with the traffic and whatever time they get off work and things like that. So I'm gonna throw that out there. And if anybody's got any brilliant ideas, I'm open for them.
Well, I will tell you right now, I'm not going back to Lions Field unless there's a party. I will miss all the print competitions because I don't like to drive to that place.
Yeah,
Since I don't drive at night, Susie has to drive me, and she doesn't like doing it either.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think for a lot of people, driving downtown is not a pleasant experience.
I mean, I have to leave here at 6 o'clock to get there by 7:15.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Be thinking about it, thinking about what you're willing to invest to continue meeting, if you're willing to invest anything more at all, if you are, what your limits are, things like that, just so that we've got a little something to work with, and we'll go from there. But
Right now, our finances, I think we got like $3,100.
I don't know. I think it was 27, but
So
yeah.
that was before the Christmas party.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We collected dues. In fact, that reminds me, I owe you a check. I need to send you dues.
Chris, you mentioned the other club. I think you said it was Capture San Antonio.
I think so.
Yes.
And they meet at Chester's, you said?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
How much do they pay for the room, did you say?
Well, I think Chester's one, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've talked to them, but I think they're wanting $250 minimum to be spent. Well, depends on how many of us are there. Now that may have changed since prices have gone up and things like that. I don't know. But if everybody spends $15 for a meal, I haven't done the math, but you'd have to figure out how many people minimum would have to show up. And if we don't get that, then the club sucks up the rest of that cost.
Yeah.
And since we don't really have any form of income outside of dues, it doesn't take long for us to deplete the budget.
I think about 15 or 20
The
people.
last time we went to Chester's, I think we had 20 people. Now, by the time you order a burger and fries and a drink, you're going to spend $15 or more.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so if you have 10 people there, that's 150.
Right.
If there's 20 people there, okay, we might make it, but how many times do we get 20 people?
Exactly. That's my concern. For a meeting, are we going to get 20 people? That's my concern.
We've gone to Chester's a couple of times and we've had to pay a couple of times.
Yeah.
To get that 250.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, awards nights or things like that, we usually get more people will show.
Now, I don't see how Capture San Antonio does because I don't think they charge dues. Also, the fact that I've been to their meetings and I don't think I've ever seen more than 20 people there.
Yeah, well, I only met whatever group it was. I only met them twice.
Well, Capture San Antonio still meets there.
Yeah, and there were definitely more than 20 people when I showed, and because I asked, and they do collect dues. But if you get 20 people show up for a meal, that covers it. But so we
could always meet at the Dominion.
Where at the Dominion?
At the Dominion, where Photo SA meets. Jim will let us use the room.
Yeah, but I think they charge $10 a meeting, don't they?
No, and you know, and they do charge $10 a person per meeting.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Jim makes up the rest of the money
yeah,
for the
probably.
room.
Yeah,
I'm just teasing. We're
Yeah,
not
it would
going
be-
to
yeah.
Dominion.
We'll let you make up the money, Peter.
Yeah, I'll do that.
No, the Dominion is very expensive.
I know
Oh, I'm
it is.
sure.
And he will be the first person to tell you that it is. But
Mhm,
he's a member of the Dominion, so he gets a discount.
he
Right,
does.
right.
Okay, so if anybody here is a member at the Dominion, we'll put you in charge.
I don't think so.
Still, I think Jim has to pay something, even with the $10 per
Oh, I'm
person
sure.
Oh
he
yeah,
does.
he still has to pay because
out of his pocket.
I mean, the prizes that he gives out prizes, and they're all free.
Mhm.
So, but he draws 10 people, and at $10 a head, that's only $100,
Yeah,
and that room is a lot more than $100.
Yep.
yeah,
They give you $100 just in cookies,
yeah.
And lemonade.
and they had great cookies.
They do have great cookies.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Johnny's saying good night. Good night, John. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'll leave that.
Okay.
Any of you are planning on going Tuesday night? Good night, Jack.
Oh, you're going, Jack? I'm leaving the
Yeah,
group
he's
tonight.
gone.
Thanks.
Anybody's,
If you didn't know, Jack put in his images, but they did not get shown.
He mailed them to me on the 1st of November.
Yes,
So
he always puts them in at least 4 weeks ahead of
Yeah.
schedule.
No, he doesn't.
Well, sometimes he does.
Well, that's the first time it happened with me because I check them. And I've started
I
processing.
know, but I went in
1st
and
of
looked at it and I
November.
said, I asked him if
wait,
those
wait.
were the current ones, and he said yes.
Jack is leaving the group?
He's
Huh?
not leaving the
Oh.
group.
That's what his text message, that's what his chat message says.
I'm leaving the group
Leaving the group
tonight.
tonight. Thanks for the memories.
He left. He's got company coming. But
Okay.
Jack is always, even when I was doing it, Jack has always had his stuff in 2 weeks early. And he put
Okay.
him in this time 4 weeks early because he was not going to be here for I don't remember what, but anyway. He sent an email to the group.
To the group?
Anyway,
Yeah.
stuff happens. I just thought I would bring that up.
Okay.
Anyway, it happens.
Yeah, it does. Stuff happens.
It just
Yeah,
means he can submit them next time.
Yeah, we're
But
still
next
not
time,
gonna fire
remind everybody that next time we don't have a creative category. We don't have a travel category.
Yeah.
We don't have
We'll get another email out.
we don't have assignment category. What do we got? We just got
three
Three.
categories.
photo, monochrome, and
Nature.
nature. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna stop recording because we're just
Yeah.
chattering. Let me see if I can figure out how to
Okay.
stop this thing here.
Yeah. Okay.